said something very interesting. We were discussing the actions of one of our more colorful friends, and Pete said, we knew what we signed up for. And the truth is, I didn't know what I signed up for, because I met all my best friends when I was 13 years old. And for better or worse, with the passage of time, these guys became my best friends. But Pete is a very special friend to me, because Pete is my only friend, best friend that I actually chose. And all my other friends, but Pete's the only friend I actually chose. And Pete is one of the most warm, lovable guys. He's provided me advice throughout my life, both career and personal, and you can't resist but have a deep love for Pete. I mean, there is nothing in the world more heartbreaking than watching Pete see a pair of shoes in the window of a store and just hold on to a glimmer of hope that maybe they have it in the size 16. He's batting 0 for 1,000. And Amanda is such a sweet, pretty girl, and every time a friend of Pete and mine meets Amanda, they come up to me in private after, and they go, whoa, Pete's girl's really hot. I go, yeah. But what they're really saying is, I didn't think Pete could grab a girl that hot. So Pete has actually outdone himself on tonight, and I love you guys so much, and I wish you a long, healthy, happy life, and look forward to many more times of laughs and good times.
Amen! Iran!
All right, thank you, Teddy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing so far? My name is Jeff Weinroth, and it is truly an honor to be standing here and speaking before all of you on this star-studded night here in the lovely Audex mezzanine section of the Chicago Museum of Contemporary Art, where we take a moment to celebrate two of our favorite people of all time. I'd like to start out by thanking some of our sponsors in attendance this evening: the parents of the bride and groom, the National UJA Federation, a company simply listed here as The Files, and of course the local Scarsdale Big and Tall for outfitting our gentle giant of a groom. Now, it may surprise you, but I've never actually given a State of the Union address before. But as I survey the room, I imagine this is what it would be like. Two parties, one from New York, one from Chicago, carefully arranged by a meticulous seating chart. And of course, there's Peter's parents, or as I commonly refer to them as Mr. President and Madam First Lady. But anyway, before I get on with the show, I'd like to ensure that when I tell you to make some noise, guys, you not only give me everything you got, but everything these two deserve. A little bit of audience participation, and all the way in the back, I need you, I see you, we love you. I'd like for you to join me in a slow clap in honor of the girl who's the perfect mix of legal and regal, and the guy whose sheer size and financial pedigree have put a positive spin on the expression, too big to fail. Let's go, guys, let's do it, come on.
He loves slow claps.
So, the story of how Peter and I fell in love is a tale of international intrigue and espionage. By now, I am sure it has been well documented that despite being 6'11" and a svelte 250, Peter has this uncanny ability to blend into whatever crowd he's in. It all started when we were 19 years old. Peter had somehow managed to infiltrate a tight-knit group of egomaniacs and score an invite aboard a limousine en route to Atlantic City for the birthday of then student, now garment kingpin Matt Panini. As Peter was plotting to swing a few votes in his pursuit of a White House bid in 2024, or should I say, make some new friends that weekend, we made small talk about philanthropy and any freelance hedge fund consulting internships that were available that summer. You know, just college guys being college guys. I mean, come on. Anyway, he started calling me Jers, a nickname that at the time was reserved exclusively for people in that limo, but is now commonplace to the point where I'm not even sure Amanda knows my real first name. It's Rich, as most people say. I cut him off immediately and let him know that maybe he could hold up on the nicknames and instead focus on getting to know the real me a little better. This moment sticks out for a few reasons. One, we've been best friends ever since. Two, it remains the only time in my life I've ever corrected Peter. And three, he went from not calling me some stupid nickname to calling me the best man at his wedding a short 10 years later. Wait, what? Not the best man. But who? Email. Check the email. Check my email. Always email. The world we live in. Very well. Fast forward a few years, and Pete and I lived together in Australia, along with Teddy Towell, Gregg and Andrew Horowitz, who really is the Kaiser Soze in this whole situation, if you think about it. When it came time to choose rooms, Pete graciously insisted that he take the master bedroom, leaving me and Gregg with the classic bunk bed, no working air conditioning scenario most college kids dream of while studying abroad. While some of you may view this as a pure case of natural selection, I saw it as an introduction to the sort of high-stakes blue-chip negotiations that have helped vault Peter to the position of leverage and power he is in today. Hashtag finance. However, much like the days spent with Pete when he's throwing out barely worn clothes and I walk away with a new wardrobe, there's a silver lining to my story. After college, Pete let us know that it was this random act of generosity that inspired him to birth the flagship fundraiser for the UJA that goes by the very same name each and every year. So on behalf of me, Gregg, and thousands of Jewish singles around the world, you're welcome. You're all very, very welcome. Shifting gears a little bit, I got the chance to really get to know Amanda when she lived with us during her downtime at Penn Law School, but I first met her during the tail end of Pete's Michigan years. Once again, Pete's expert forecasting ability was at work as he sat at touchdowns with me, sipping drinks and taking 10% of the gate, all the while presenting a spreadsheet with every statistical outcome of dating and eventually marrying Amanda. I asked him what it all meant and what I was looking at. He gave me a look that can only be described as stern. And said, "You are looking at the love of my life, and she means everything." And good on him. Amanda, you are one of my dearest friends, and your poise, grace, humor, and heart have been on display from the moment I met you in your sorority house, even if the place was an absolute mess. I'm sure some of you visited. So in closing, I love you both. You're some of my best friends. You're admired, respected, and loved by everyone that meets you. Just look at this room here tonight. You're consistent, compassionate, considerate, and kind-hearted. And we're all better people for having you in our lives. I like to say that you guys are also the luckiest of the lot because you have found everything we love about you guys in each other. So tonight, we raise our glasses. Tomorrow night, we shake our asses, people. Just understand that. To a love everlasting. What a couple. What a moment. I need you to make some more noise. For the new Mr. and Mrs. Peter Stern, thank you, God bless, and good night. I'll see
Right, before we start this party, I think I speak for the traditionalists everywhere when I say nothing says a Judaic wedding like a 250-foot crucifix. We'll stretch that 2 crucifixes hanging from the wall. Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Gregg. And for more than 10 years, I've had the pleasure of calling Peter Stern one of my closest friends. I've known Amanda almost as long, and I can't tell you what an honor it is to be up here. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate the bride and grooms, the Schwartzes, their parents of course. The Schwartzes, you have done an incredible job raising the bride-to-be, and the Sterns, I think we can both agree that if Pete were Mike, he'd be damn near perfect. The folks up in the nosebleeds, I can only hope that you remember binoculars and the audio is making its way to the back of the stadium. This is the first rehearsal dinner I've ever spoken at that had people being turned away at the door and had tickets made available on StubHub. I can only hope that you guys out there in the cheap seats obtained your tickets lawfully, honestly, and have discerned at this point in the night that this is Peter, this is Amanda, and they'll be getting married on Sunday. Now that we have the formalities taken care of, I'd like to start with a caveat. Finding solid material on either of these two was far from easy. Pete has made a career of keeping himself squeaky clean. Amanda has obviously followed suit. Weeks spent racking my brain. Stupid stuff Pete's done, funny situation with Amanda, blah, blah, blah. And all I've got, after 2 weeks, is that Amanda spends a lot of money on lighting their apartment and is an apprehensive skier. And Pete is good at getting through airport security and has a lot of friends. That's it. Let's start there. For anyone in attendance who's legally blind, please take a look around. Pete has a lot of friends. Pretty much everyone likes Pete. Even Mike likes Pete. And Mike really doesn't like anyone. I'm done with you, I swear. So how did Pete make all these friends? Because at first I couldn't really understand it. But the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. To know Pete Stern is to know that none of this ended up by accident. All this took some serious work. You see, my friend Pete puts himself out there. He was the president of his fraternity. Guys to the left. He's always made a point of reaching out. He's got an extremely active career when it comes to his charitable work. It's safe to say my friend Pete is a very public person. Very public. Except when it comes to his equity. When it comes to his equity, my friend Pete is extremely private. You see, Pete has that rare ability to morph into a role, whatever that role may be, make it look natural, and of course collect friends and paychecks along the way. Take the now infamous picture of Pete down on one knee proposing on Central Park ice. The first thing that comes to mind is obvious. Where the hell did this guy find size 19 ice skates? And how the hell did Amanda not see a proposal coming when Pete casually mentioned that he wanted to go ice skating on a Tuesday night in Central Park with a camera crew behind him? Amanda, does Pete usually travel with a camera crew? Pete had obviously once again made friends, this time with the Central Park staff. However, what the people didn't see was the aftermath of that night. No less than 15 minutes after Amanda had said yes, had Pete replaced those ice skates with a set of fine Italian loafers and had the boys over at Audax on the horn for an emergency conference call. Where not only did he orchestrate a structured buyout of the park, but also went as far as to rework the Zamboni drivers' current union labor agreement, revamp their current management team, and unfortunately was forced to fire 2/3 of the animals currently employed at the adjacent Central Park Center. Hell, not only did he streamline the park's earnings potential, drastically increase its current EBITDA, and cut the fat on payroll, but they loved him for it. Hell, this guy was high-fiving giraffes on the way out. No one ever said getting married was going to pay for itself, right, Pete? You see, it's this rare ability that makes Pete the true people's champ. A man who's perfectly comfortable in the boardroom, on the golf course, at the bar, wherever. You're talking about a guy who will sit down as a staunch Democrat at a family dinner on Sunday night, and then head down to South Texas the next Monday. And if it means making a deal, Pete's out there with a hard hat on, sporting a Second Amendment henna tattoo on his forearm, ironing out blueprints for electric fence to man the border, and passing out AK-47s to his new friends. And let's not forget, while he's there, please don't refer to him as Pete. Call him Pedro. Because in Pedro Stern's words, that Latino vote isn't going to capture itself. Whatever it takes to make a deal. We laugh, we joke, but the essence of what I'm saying is true. Since the day I've met Pete, I've been in awe with his ability to make people like him. It's not an accident. There's a reason for it. There are plenty of reasons why Amanda has agreed to marry Pete. You could argue it's his ability to order for 12 while sitting at a table of 3. Maybe it's his unquenchable thirst for Art Deco Asian coffee tables that can be purchased on Craigslist. Maybe even it's his hammer-sized thumbs that are capable of performing ungodly acts through an Excel sheet. But the truth is, Amanda sees what everyone else sees. That you'd be hard-pressed to find a person who takes a genuine interest in the people around him like Pete does. And that's just a fact. Here comes the soft stuff. The only thing bigger than Pete's vocabulary is his heart. And the only thing bigger than his heart are his feet. And the only thing bigger than his feet are his ice skates. I can't think of two people who deserve each other more than you two. You guys love each other and it's easy to see. You make each other happy and most importantly, you make each other better. So please, raise your glasses to the best damn bride and groom in all of Chicago. To Pete and Amanda, to the dream that will never die. I love you both. I wish you nothing but a lifetime of health and happiness, and I love you. Thank you.